Colorado. It's been a while since my last video, and a lot has happened in this world. I'm not sure if anyone's heard, but there's some sort of virus that's kind of going and spreading. Not a computer virus, but a human virus that's spreading around. It's kind of a secret, but it's kind of impacting a lot of stuff. Anyway, I thought I would take a little time and just come on to the YouTube world and visit with my friends and let you know what's going on with Steve. What's up with him? So it's been a little while. I promised on my last video that I would only do videos when I had something or to share or what have you. And I feel like now's the right time. Not going to be heavy on this one. I'm going to talk about mainly projects. I've been super busy. In fact, I think I'm always busy, but extraordinarily busy. And a lot of that busyness has come with shop remodeling. I'm doing significant overhauls to the shop, to production, and things like that, trying to really get systems and processes that I use down for becoming more efficient in my guitar building. That's coming. It's a work in progress, and it won't be complete probably for several more months. At some point, I'll probably show you some of the features of the shop and improvements that I've made, but I really don't want that to be a focal point of my YouTube channel. Another thing that happened was obviously tied to the whole pandemic situation is my class for electric guitar construction that I teach at the local community college was canceled. Hopefully by the fall semester we'll be back up to somewhat normal, maybe with some certain protocols established, but we'll be starting to teach hands-on again. So I was halfway through the semester when the school was shut down. And so what I have here in front of you is a half-built Strat style guitar. This was the guitar that I was building in class as the demonstrator build for this semester. Every semester I build at least one, sometimes more. And this was kind of a cool one. The nice thing about this Strat is probably some of the wood choices that I used on it. I went pretty traditional with the main body is basically a two-piece alder slab with a drop top of bird's eye maple with some other little cool figure into it. The neck is a pretty substantial bird's eye maple neck. And on top of that is a fretboard of something called leopard wood. And I don't know if you've ever worked with that before or seen it, but it's a pretty dramatic, especially when you start kind of radiusing the fretboard, it exposes a little bit more uniqueness to the grain pattern. And so that's pretty cool. Let me give you some close-ups of this guitar. Okay, I wiped it down with a little naphtha just to kind of give you some of the grain here. The bird's eye. There's also some other figure going on in this top, which is really going to be a pretty cool top there. Get the leopard wood. The leopard wood was so pretty that I decided to only use a 12th fret marker, and that's some of that synthetic stone that I have made for my guitars. It's a pearl type, very iridescent. Stainless steel frets like I normally use. Bird's eye maple. Let's wipe that down a little bit more. Bird's eye maple on the neck. Okay, on the back, again wiped down with some naphtha, is a pretty traditional alder body, and then a pretty dramatic bird's eye maple neck. I feel like it's going to be a pretty cool guitar, and I was disappointed that in the class it was cut short and I wasn't able to finish this guitar and obviously help the students learn what they needed to learn to finish their guitars, because there were several that were really coming along nicely and I was kind of excited for them. So what I'm thinking about doing, and again it'll all be time permitted, but right now I do have a little bit of time, in order to better help my students and to benefit my friends here on the YouTube universe, I decided that I'm going to complete would be a better word, I'm going to complete this guitar project in a video series, step by step, kind of at the same pace that I would have completed it in demonstrations in the class, should the class have continued. And so we're really to the point where there's going to be a couple things that need to be done. Let me go over what my goal is. My goal is to build an excellent guitar, right? Okay, well that goes without saying, but I still have some choices that I can make for this guitar, and those are things I'm still pondering back and forth. With the drop top that's on here, I can either put a round over on that edge and then do an opaque finish on the back alder with kind of a burst coming slightly around, and to kind of blend those two areas where the two different woods come together, and that could be pretty good. I've been thinking of a reddish color scheme for this guitar. So possibly if I do that, I would do maybe a candy apple or some type of fancy finish like that on the back, maybe where I use a metallic gold with some translucent red on the top to create that candy apple. So I'm thinking about possibly that. Or my other idea would be to use some sort of vintage cream color binding on the top around the edge, and then use a translucent, like deep wine red finish on the back, so that you can still see the grain, but very subtly. It'll be pretty bold burgundy color for the most part. And then for the top, for the bird's eye, I'm thinking of using just a bright red tint to that dye, a nice bright red dye to kind of make the top really pop, and then kind of blend with the burgundy on the back to kind of mute it a little bit to have the focal point all on the top bird's eye figured maple of the top. The neck, I would leave just more of this vintage amber on the neck. I think especially that bird's eye maple really soaks up the browns in that vintage amber and really darkens it, and it just looks outstanding. So that's what I'm going to do for the neck. So anyway, those are a couple ideas I had for this guitar. I'm going to be using some Rio Grande pickups on it, the hip shot tremolo, contour tremolo, and of course this extra cavity here is for my active clean boost circuitry that I add to the passive pickups, which I'm really liking, and everyone that seems to play one of my guitars that has that feature seems to really enjoy it a lot. So I think I'm gonna keep up with that in the future. So that is the basic idea of what I'm gonna do with this guitar. So send me some comments. Let me know what you think. I'm going to be starting it pretty soon, so if your comments are more than maybe a week old, you might have missed the boat on it. But I'm trying to really figure out if the roundover, more traditional roundover, or a bound top with a translucent back versus an opaque back would be the best for this guitar. So let me know what you think. But next video, we're going to get started on the process. I'm probably going to start with the neck first. The next process I was at on the neck, which I've already covered in class, but I figure I'll show you guys one more time my fancy neck contouring jig, just in case my earliest video didn't have enough info for you. I'll try to demonstrate it and show you one more time, that jig. So that's it, short video right now just to kind of get the feet wet for this particular project. So let me know what you think. In closing for this just introductory video, I sincerely hope that all of you out there are safe and healthy and that things are going as well for you as possibly can. So until next video, remember in life, whatever you do, start with excellence.